everyone, and welcome to a special episode of Membership Minute, Printing United Alliance's weekly series dedicated to bringing you the latest in association news. This week, I have Printing United Alliance's Chief Economist, Andy Paparosi, with me to discuss the COVID-19 Business Indicator Research Edition 2 report, which was recently released by Printing United Alliance. Welcome, Andy. Thanks so much for being here.
My pleasure, Ashley. Thank you for having me.
Of course. So could you take a little bit of time to explain what the reports are based on?
Certainly, Ashley. All the reports in the COVID-19 series are based on a broad representative survey of our industry. We conduct the survey every other month. More than 450 companies participate, including commercial printers, graphic and sign producers, apparel decorators, functional printers, package printers. Participants are located across the United States and Canada and have annual sales ranging from less than $1 million to more than $700 million. So we have a broad cross-section of our industry. And if you look in the very beginning of the report, you will see a participant profile. So readers know exactly how many companies we surveyed and whom we surveyed.
Great. Thank you so much. It's important, I think, to know that there's a variety of companies that were reported on here. So could you point to some specific areas that you think are most important for members to review within the report?
Certainly, Ashley. I think 3 points are particularly important. First, the printing industry has taken its first step toward recovery. 27.7% of the participants in our June survey reported that sales were trending up from just 5.6% 2 months earlier. And 48% expected business to improve during the month ahead, up from just 16% in early spring. Now, of course, improvement is over the deepest days of the COVID crisis, and activity is nowhere near where it was a year ago. But right now, we're just looking for movement off bottom, because that's the first step toward recovery, and we saw it in our June survey. Point number 2 is expect our industry to grow in 2021, boosted by a sharp upturn in the American economy. We're not ready to project by how much because there are still so many unknowns, but be certain that this recovery will not be the rising tide that lifts all boats. It will not lead us to some comfortable, stable normal, new or otherwise. And while opportunity will continue to expand, margin for error will continue to shrink. So we are either going to prepare for this recovery or we're going to be left behind. And point number 3 is that our survey uncovered some very important lessons about preparing for the recovery ahead. Now listen to this. Overall, among all companies we surveyed, or all 452, sales declined an average of 30.2% during the 30 days ending in early June. However, a small group of companies increased their sales by 15.8% on average. They were not companies of a particular size, and they were not in markets that got a boost from the pandemic. Rather, they were companies that recognized very early on the opportunities in COVID-19 related printing, serving essential industries, producing personal protection equipment, and expanding their e-commerce capabilities. So clients could do more offline and at a distance. And they not only recognized these opportunities, they moved decisively to capture them. So they excelled in market analysis and execution, both, not just one or the other. They recognized the opportunity, but they moved agilely and quickly and decisively to capture it. And as you'll read in the report, those skills, those entrepreneurial skills, will be as important during the recovery ahead as they are during the current recession. And you will read a lot more about them in our September report, which my colleague David Wiley and I are working on now. And I would just add one more key to preparing for the recovery ahead, and that is to begin thinking about the post-COVID world now. Where are the opportunities likely to be? What are clients likely to need most? Something new, maybe something they've always needed, but delivered in a new manner? How are their preferences and behaviors likely to change? How prepared are we to meet those changes? And if we're not really prepared, how are we going to get prepared? And I know how hard it is to think about tomorrow when today presents so many challenges. But the sooner we begin to answer questions like those and to prepare for the post-COVID world, the greater our chances of participating fully in the recovery that it is going to bring.
Thank you. Those are some great insights and very helpful. So if members need further assistance or have questions, where can they turn? Are you available for questions, or are there any resources on the site that they can turn to?
Well, certainly, Ashley. I'm always available. My colleague, David Wiley, one of our economists, is always available. We are always delighted when members contact us. And my recommendation is, listen, take a look at the report. It's got a real lot in it. In addition to the kind of things we just talked about, there are data by major segment, what's happening in commercial printing, what's happening in graphic and sign production. And there is a very, very insightful analysis of the American economy's prospects by my colleague, David. And if one thing hasn't changed about our industry, it's our dependence on the economy. So take a look at that. Let us know what you think. What would you like us to add to the reports? What would you like us to add to the analysis? David and I would be delighted to hear from you.
Thank you so much, Andy, for joining me today. And for everyone else, the COVID-19 Business Indicator Research Edition 2 report is available to members, and it's also available to non-members who can join to access the report. Visit the link below to download it today. Printing United Alliance is an association built by and for the printing industry with local affiliated associations across the US and Canada. To learn more about the benefits of becoming a Printing United Alliance member, visit sgia.org. Or if you're interested in joining one of our affiliates, please visit us at printing.org. Our team is looking forward to hearing from you.